Donovan McNabb on loan from NBC Sports Radio joining us on the program. Donovan, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Dan. How are you?
I'm great. Biggest house you've ever been in? We talked to somebody who took a tour of Michael Jordan's house in Chicago. Biggest house you've ever been in?
My own. Hey, man, you know, when you get banged around for 13 years in this league, you're able to build your own house and your dream house, and one in which you want your kids to grow up in and be happy that daddy did something productive and give them everything that they need to make them happy.
Okay, how big is the house?
It's about 12,000 square foot.
I can hear the echo in there. Are you in your house now?
Actually, I'm not. I'm in my apartment here in L.A. So, man, I'm just happy that I've been truly blessed to reward my family with great things and spoil them a little bit. So, I built my dream house for myself too. But it's a playhouse.
I don't know if you heard this with Brett Favre, the whole thing about him coming back, and now they said it was a joke. But
yeah.
The bigger picture here is, well, listen to Favre and what he had to say, and I was amazed that the media didn't even pick up on this. Here's Favre yesterday on Washington, D.C. radio station.
I don't remember my daughter playing soccer, youth soccer, one summer. I don't remember that. Now, I got a pretty good memory, and I have a tendency, like probably we all do, you forget, now, where's my glasses? And they're on your head. I have that, but this was a little shocking to me that I couldn't remember my daughter playing youth soccer. It was just one summer, I think. And I can remember her playing basketball. I can remember her playing volleyball. I kind of think
we'll cut it short there, but, I mean, he's 44, Donovan.
Right.
How scary is that?
Well, I don't know if it's because maybe he may be having the concussion symptoms or whatever it may be, but, you know, if he was talking just mainly based off of his career playing football, never got a chance to watch her compete in different sports. Because, you know, Brett's played for a long period of time, and, if it's in that case, I kind of understand, but Saturdays before you got to go into the hotel, you would hopefully at least go and spend some time with and watch your daughter. But as far as if it's concussion syndrome, you know, that's kind of the result of what we've kind of paid for. You know, that's what we sign up for to compete on a high level and prove our worth and be rewarded with lots of money to be able to take care of our family. And it's a tough situation at the end of it all. But that's what this game is all about. It's a brutal game. We put our bodies, in tough situations each and every week.
But do you expect that to happen to you?
Well, I hope it doesn't. I pray that it does not. Will it? I can't sit here and say I have a crystal ball to let anyone know. But I've seen it. I've talked to teammates. I've talked to former players who have played who are battling through a lot of these symptoms, and it's tough to swallow as a former player. But you have to be, I guess, at this point, try to prepare yourself for it.
He's Donovan McNabb, NBC Sports Radio, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Tony Romo topic came up with Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones' son, and he had the following. He said the following. He made this comparison with Tony Romo, and then I'll get your thoughts on it. Here's Stephen Jones of the Cowboys.
You look at, just the history of athletes in general, whether it's a LeBron James or anybody, there's a lot of criticism until you put those championship rings on their fingers. And I think Tony will get his, and when he does, then, I think history is going to look upon him, look at his career and say that, hey, he was one hell of a quarterback.
What do you make of that, Donovan?
First of all, I started laughing because it was like a follow-up, I guess, to the moral victory with Jerry Jones. And, it was to the point that, Tony played great in games. And it just so happens that he's a Jones, I guess. But you know what? The whole thing about it is I think too many times we focus on guys who've won Super Bowls, and what does that mean for your career? To be honest with you, I mean, it's just another notch. It's like the Pro Bowl. It's like all pro. You win the Super Bowl, more power to you. Now, do you think that they're saying the same thing for Brad Johnson or Trent Dilfer, that they won a Super Bowl, that they would be looked upon as great quarterbacks? I don't think so. First of all, if you want to be looked upon as a great quarterback, do it consistently. Take your team to the playoffs. Go to the NFC Championships. Appear in the Super Bowl. We've seen regular season numbers from Tony Romo that are outstanding, and we know he can play this game. But if you don't have a high winning percentage, not only in the regular season, but also in the playoffs, then how could you be looked upon as one of the greats? Now, don't get me wrong. Tony Romo is a great quarterback at this time, and during the regular season, we've seen this. But this is his perfect opportunity this year in a division that's not that strong to lead his team to the playoffs, and then from then on, all you got to do is get in, and we'll see what happens.
But we looked at LeBron James. I didn't like the comparison.
Well, see, the comparison is off because you can't say that LeBron James has taken his Cleveland basketball team to the playoffs almost each and every year. He took them to the Eastern Conference Finals. He played in an NBA championship against the San Antonio Spurs, even though he was swept. But still, he took a Cleveland basketball team that no one even expected, them to get there. We knew what LeBron could do, but we didn't know anybody else on the team. And then he did the same thing when he went to Miami. So you have to be able to take your team to postseason play and be the reason for that. Being a quarterback, everything rallies behind you. Guys feed off of your energy. Now, if you go out and play well and put up numbers, everybody else tend to follow. I've been on teams where, people just thought, why are they winning? And all of a sudden you finish the season 10-6, 11-5. Or you get to the last game where everything's on the line to make the playoffs and you have to win. And we've done that. So you look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning could have been in that category with LeBron James, that he had to win a Super Bowl because we've seen great numbers, as Jim Irsay say, Star Wars numbers. But he's been to playoffs, and he had to win a Super Bowl because people said he couldn't win the big game.
If Peyton only wins one Super Bowl, finish that sentence.
If Peyton only wins one Super Bowl, he still goes down as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game.
But if he wins two, can he go down as the greatest quarterback of all time?
If Peyton Manning wins 2 Super Bowls, he's going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. The best quarterback to ever play the game in my eyes is Joe Montana, followed by Tom Brady with Terry Bradshaw. Then you can put in Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning.
Okay. But we're looking at Super Bowls with those guys, except for Peyton.
No. These are guys. These are guys that somewhat transcended the game. And Super Bowls are great. Now, the San Francisco 49ers team was loaded with talent. Yeah. Steve Young stepped right in there and continued it on. He was blessed to have this talent around him. Nobody remembers Steve Young back when he was in Tampa Bay or when he came back to San Francisco and started at 30 years old. Nobody knew that. They just know the great career from 30 and on. Troy Aikman, he was surrounded by great talent all around him. And you got three Hall of Famers that we all know, but you don't forget about the Jay Novaceks. You don't forget about the great offensive line. You don't forget about those guys. Look, Terry Bradshaw. I mean, people probably don't even talk Terry Bradshaw, but he played with great players, and the things that he was able to do in Pittsburgh was amazing. And so I think it's hard to discredit what those guys have done. It's hard to discredit what Peyton has done, but surrounded by great players. And not everybody's been blessed with that, but yet still he's done great with what he's had.
Last time somebody called you about coming back?
Well, it was my wife, and I left the house, and she told me she needed me to come back home because I left something. Hey, look, this is the funny thing to me. It's when Adam Schefter or Mortensen reports something on TV, now all of a sudden it's the gift of God. Everybody's like, oh, they called Brett Favre at 44 years old. Listen. It's amazing. We need to stop talking about Brett Favre at 44 coming back. We need to focus on why the lack of production from the backup quarterback position, and then they're constantly signing guys that can't play the game, to these contracts to be backups. And then when they get in the game, we sit here and the storylines for us are why the team is so bad. That's the focus on it, not if Brett Favre is coming back. I mean, Bus Cook he's a genius. For him to come out and say Brett Favre is running 10 miles a day and biking and he's down to 8% body fat and he still can play this game. Listen here, I work out every day. First of all, I can guarantee Brett ain't down to 10 to 8% body fat. I can guarantee he ain't out there running 10 miles a day. But it was a great story, yeah. And what he did was he set it up so he can sign one of the young guys that he represents back in St. Louis.
Would you start for Jacksonville right now?
Absolutely not.
Could you,
Listen,
if I gave
I'm
you a month,
retired.
gave you a month, could you start for Jacksonville?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't come back. I'm retired. I'm one of those guys. I was one of these guys who I don't have to hear the crowd. I don't have to hear people chanting my name. When I retired last year and I said I'm done, I'm done. I mean, now I can get out and play flag football with the 30 and over league and sling it a little bit and feel good. Hey, this is the time where you do add new things to your chapter. Play softball. Go out there and play in the 30 and over basketball league. Do something. Hey.
How's your jumper, by the way?
Oh, the jumper is outstanding. You know, reminds me of Ray Allen back when he was in Connecticut.
Wow.
You know, people don't remember those days. I had a chance to sit there courtside and watch every bit of it, you know, but my jumper's outstanding. Now, when you get older and you've been playing 13 years in the league, there's no dribbling between the legs and trying to run past anybody like Derrick Rose. Now, I'm going to hit you with 2 dribbles and pull up in your face and tell you about it the whole game.
Did you guard Ray Allen back in those Syracuse days?
Well, in those Syracuse days, I sat third seat from the end, if you want to include the head trainer. And if we happened to be up by enough, then I would get in. But by that time, I don't think Ray was in the game.
Did you ever dunk in a game?
I did. I had actually throughout my career and while playing, I think I may have had 3 dunks in my career. So, hey, you know, don't let the size fool you now. I got some springs up underneath these calves.
Good to visit with you, Donovan. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, no problem, man. Hey, and I'm still waiting to see if I get a call from somebody. You know, maybe a high school team want to bring me back.
We could make some fake news here.
Hey, you know, it's all about breaking news.
I need Schefter to just make up a story.
No, Schefter already messed that up. He messed that up by saying Brett got a call. So why don't we'll find somebody else that works with NBC Sports Radio, and then we'll do breaking news, and then I'll do on YouTube me working out. I'll have my shirt off, and then then I'll be like, I'm coming back.
All right. Thank you, Donovan. Have a good weekend.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, Donovan McNabb, co-host of Under Center with McNabb and Malone, weekday afternoons 3 to 7 on NBC Sports Radio.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.